You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Welcome to another hour of Your Mother is Toxic, starring me, Bonnie Hunt.
And I guess I'm Roseanne Barr.
Oh, okay.
And I guess I'm Tanya Harding.
Oh, I love it.
Can we just talk for a second about what I tagged you guys in on Facebook earlier today?
Absolutely. Which thing? Because we tag each other in a lot of shit.
It was the dolls.
Oh, the dolls.
So they were like the deadbeat dad, and it was
I died.
They were so funny. Adam and Steve.
So they're like action figures that people clearly just made up on their own, but the deadbeat dad, it says deadbeat dad action figure, but there's nothing in the box.
I love it. There was one.
Oh, the karate teacher who threw up, and it's just a karate teacher with vomit all over him.
I like the one with the babies.
The babies.
The unwanted babies that your friends keep
Batman's
having.
parents, it's just them face down with blood all over them.
There was the Jehovah's Witness one where it was just a doorbell.
Yes. Yes.
That one made me laugh.
They're good.
They are.
There's some really, all the babies your shitty friends keep having, and it's just a bunch of little baby figurines.
No, that's what. Oh, it was beautiful.
Thanksgiving smallpox blankets.
I saw that they're rolled up little blankets.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so good. I saw those. I was like, I think Mark's birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
So no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
The 4th of July.
Yeah, July 4th. I expect presents from the Bizarre Buffet listeners.
Yes, you all better send Mark presents.
Yes. Send him presents. You don't want me to.
I like Versace.
Versace.
Oh.
Versace?
Are you
Give me the gaudiest Versace
Are you
shirts.
foreshadowing what we're going to be talking
This
about?
might be
little
foreshadowing.
bit.
I don't know.
But I'm just curious because I've been very nostalgic lately, and I just want to know what are your favorite scandals from the 90s? Because the 90s had so much shit going on, scandals and
Murder
and some of the most amazing music and fashion and
Yeah, well, fashion's debatable, but I get what you're saying.
but it's making a comeback.
It is. It most certainly is.
It's middle parts galore.
Middle parts galore is for sure.
I'm thinking of the kid from what's that show, Home Improvement? Jonathan Taylor
Thomas. Yep.
All the boys.
JTT.
Whatever happened to him? I don't think he acts anymore.
No, did he OD or
I don't
something?
I think he's still alive.
He's still around.
Well, good for him. Jonathan,
So-
if you're listening,
We love you.
we love you.
We loved you on Home Improvement.
Yeah,
I don't know what else you were in.
Wasn't
But
he Simba?
no one does.
From the
oh yeah,
Lion
he
King?
was the
Yeah.
voice of young Simba in The Lion King.
Well, aside from those two things, nobody
Teen
knows
Bob
what
posters.
Teen Bob posters. That's right.
Teen Bob.
Every girl loved him. I didn't. I wanted his dad.
You wanted Tim Allen?
Miss, yeah. You wanted. He's a Republican piece of shit. Anyway,
He's Buzz Lightyear.
yeah, Buzz Lightyear is a Republican piece of shit too. Sorry, Toy Story. Toy Story. That would be a great name for a porn if it isn't already.
It probably is somewhere.
It has to be.
Toy Hoary.
Boy Story.
Boy Story.
Okay, I see the studio audience was there. Okay. You want me to tell you what my favorite Hollywood 90s scandal was?
I want you to tell me what your favorite 90s scandal is.
Oh my god.
Tell us.
That's me tapping. Okay. My personal favorite is the Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss. who was the Hollywood madam who basically provided all of the women of the night, the sex workers, if you will, to all of the famous Hollywood elite.
Oh.
Remember when Hugh Grant was busted for being...
Oh, yes. And you know what? My friend Andrew and I were actually just talking about that because we were like...
Cunanan? Sorry.
No, my roommate. We were just talking about like... He was married to Elizabeth Hurley, who in their right mind would have an affair...
On Elizabeth.
While on Elizabeth Hurley, like one of the most beautiful British women ever.
I know, and that's a hard thing to do.
Exactly.
So, I mean, but also, Hugh Grant, you know, I always quote American Dad, where they were like, such a youthful haircut and such an old face. Like,
He didn't age very well.
no, he didn't. But, you know, that's one of my favorites because, you know, she went through a lot. You know, she was charged. She had an illegal brothel, I suppose would be the correct.
But were the women that were part of this, were they all like of age?
Yeah.
Oh, then who cares?
And they were willing participants.
And they probably made a
fuck ton of money. Absolutely. Then there was an interesting...
I'd do it. Shit.
I would too. And then there was an interesting documentary. I don't know how many years later, but she was trying to open up a legal brothel in Las Vegas because you can, like, prostitution is legal. But there was like a lot of red tape and you had to like get in bed with some slimy people to like open up a brothel. So I don't think it ever happened. Anyway.
I think for me, I know the 90s is loaded with so much. You know, you have like John Benet Ramsey and the Bill Clinton sex scandal, but I think my favorite 90s scandal would be when Sinead O'Connor ripped up the picture of the Pope.
On Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I love it.
What song was she singing again?
So she did Nothing Compares to You, but then she sang something else. It was like a Bob Marley cover or something like that. And after the performance, she was like, the true enemy. And she like had a picture of the Pope and she ripped it up. And it, unfortunately, we all know it wrecked her career, but I think that was so ballsy and good for her for taking on the church at such a early time before everyone knew that the church was like, you know.
Yeah, she was a very public figure who challenged on national TV.
She had like a meltdown a few years ago in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had like I don't know, like a public meltdown, and I think she was like living in like a Holiday Inn or something like that.
In Hackensack.
So we went, Mark
Shut
and
the
I
fuck up.
Mark and I went on her Facebook page and we were like, "Oh, we live in New Jersey. If you're upset, come over. We'll listen to your albums."
Yeah, listen, throw it out
but
there.
she didn't come over.
We're like Ed and Lorraine Warren,
Or
you
listen
know.
to us.
We'll see if any story or
You guys are crazy.
we are. It's fine.
Inviting crazy people like Sinead O'Connor into your house.
We're like, nothing compares to Jen Wilson.
Nothing compares to me.
That's right.
So, American Crime Story. We've seen some of these seasons, right?
Yeah.
First season, People versus OJ. Boring, snooze.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is
we lived
annoying.
through it. Okay. The new season coming out is about the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky scandal. Snooze
Boring.
fest. We all lived through it.
God, you can't make Bill Clinton interesting.
Well,
I'm
first
sorry.
of all, like I don't like the fact that Clive Owen is going to be playing Bill Clinton and Edie Falco is playing Hillary Clinton. So like imagine Carmela Soprano / Nurse Jackie as Hillary Clinton.
I would love it if.
So this is the new one coming out. I mean, Ryan Murphy is a genius. Like,
Yeah, I mean, listen.
American Horror Story. He's doing a Jeffrey Dahmer
I am so excited
series
about
on
that.
Netflix, which I cannot wait for. And
I
I sent you the
know,
pictures
I
of
know.
Evan Peters as Jeffrey Dahmer, and it looks so good.
It does. I'm very
Nurse
excited.
Ratchet.
Oh yeah. We
That-
live for some Sarah Paulson.
I just love Ryan Murphy. I love everything he does and everything he touches. But
However.
season number 2 was the assassination of Gianni Versace.
Yeah.
And I just thought, since, you know, it's Pride Month, we've been
Yeah.
talking about homosexuality,
We love it.
murder,
Yeah.
LGBTQ.
That's
pride.
right. Absolutely.
Rainbows.
This was a scandal that I don't remember happening.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoyed this season so much, because I don't remember it. You know what I
makes
mean?
sense. Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Because, like, for example, Tanya, it just took me until like a couple months ago to finally watch it, because I was like, I lived through this drama with Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
It was everywhere, you know? So it was like, oh, I really don't want to watch it.
I just remember the thing on the news with her skate unlacing and her going up to the
Tanya Harding, yeah.
and she's like, my shoes unlaced.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I always feel bad for her in that moment,
Yeah.
because I feel like that would happen to me.
Yeah, it would.
It would. I don't ice skate, everyone.
But
But if I did.
I'm an ice skater.
so yeah, the assassination of Gianni Versace. So
Or, as they say in Italy, Gianni Versace.
Exactly.
Versace. But Jen, I don't remember it either.
yeah,
And
exactly.
we lived through it.
We
and
lived through it, and I don't remember
No.
it, and that's why I was like really drawn to that season
Right.
of
Yeah.
American Crime Story.
Makes sense.
So, for those of our listeners who don't know who Gianni Versace is, he is the Italian fashion founder of Versace, the international fashion house that produces accessories, fragrances, makeup, home furnishings. He's also known for ready-to-made wear clothing, leather accessories, flashy prints,
the most beautiful prints,
and
Baroque
bright colors,
prints,
and really bright colors.
beautiful shades of neon and Greek keys and Medusa heads and harnesses and medallions.
Oh, he's getting excited.
So-
Oh, he's excited.
In popular culture, some of Versace's well-known designs are the infamous Jennifer Lopez dress from the Grammys.
Yes, that's correct.
And actually, speaking of Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley, the dress that was referred to as that dress that she wore to the 4 weddings and a funeral premiere, you can look it up. It was literally held together by safety pins. Do you remember that?
It's iconic.
I do.
It's very
I do.
iconic. It's called that dress. Like, that's what it was always referred to as. Gianni Versace was good friends with Eric Clapton, with Princess Diana, Naomi Campbell, Kate Moss, Madonna, Elton John, Tupac Shakur.
Oh.
And he's actually known for being one of the first fashion designers to link fashion and music together.
Oh, wow. I love it.
And sadly, he was shot in the head outside of his Miami Beach mansion in 1997 by Andrew Cunanan.
Andrew Cunanan.
So who was Andrew Cunanan?
Who was he, Jen?
Oh my God.
He
So
was a troubled individual.
he was a very troubled individual.
He reminds me of like Anna Delevingne.
He kind of is like an Anna Delvey,
Yeah.
which like
Is she in prison yet?
she's in ICE. She's in ICE custody. Remember we talked about this.
The detention center.
Yeah, she's in the detention center, and every so often I'll like Google her name to see if anything else popped up. But I think she's still being held in ICE.
Oh.
I'm sure she's gonna get deported back to Germany. Okay, so who was Andrew
Back
Cunanan?
to Andrew Cunanan.
Cunanan. Okay.
Who was he, Jen?
He was this spree killer who was known to have killed 5 people in a 3-month period, mid 1997. One of them actually being the business tycoon Lee Miglin.
Oh, Lee.
He was also known to be a pathological liar, and he was also known to tell tall tales about his personal life and family life. And he also began to befriend wealthy older men and would create like violent pornography.
That's cute.
Yeah, he was known to also like socialize in the wealthy neighborhoods of San Diego and like known to live off of one wealthy patron to the next.
Oh.
Yeah. At the time, he was believed to be selling opioids, cocaine, marijuana. He dated this man named Norman Blockford. He was this wealthy man who had been like financially supporting him, but he actually maxed this guy's credit cards out.
Oh.
Damn.
He actually also went by a few aliases. Lieutenant Commander Andy Cummings,
Lieutenant Commander. Okay.
Drew Cunningham, and Kurt Matthew.
Oh.
So
All right. That's a creative mix.
it's kind of like the male Anna Delvey, but
Yeah.
with some murder involved.
Yeah.
So the killings began essentially in like 1997, but in December of 1995, he was dating this man named David Madsen from Minneapolis. He was an architect, and they met in a San Francisco bar, and they began this long distance relationship. But shortly after, David Madsen ended the relationship in like spring of 1996, telling his friends that he just like sensed something really shady about Andrew. But you know, according to Andrew, David was the love of his life. Yeah.
Well, in the show, I was kind of hoping, I was rooting for Andrew when he was pursuing his love interest.
Yeah.
It
Now,
was a little crazy.
Yes.
But I like that.
so he killed his roommate and good friend Jeffrey Trail. And this was after an argument that they had. He bought a gun and actually brought it to David Madsen's apartment.
Okay.
And Andrew called his friend Trail from David Madsen's apartment to come retrieve the gun. Okay. And upon arrival, Andrew Cunanan beat Jeffrey Trail to death with a hammer right in front of David Madsen.
Oh, God. That's pretty.
So on April 29th, one of David's coworkers was concerned about his absence from work. He visited the apartment to check on him, and they discovered David Trail's body rolled in a rug behind a sofa.
Oh, no.
And his watch was stopped at 9:55 p.m., believing that's when the killing happened.
Holy shit. Wow. Well, I know time is a big thing in murder.
Yeah.
So that's probably a helpful thing.
So the authorities believe that David Madsen remained in his apartment with Andrew 2 days after the murder.
Okay.
A neighbor witnessed both men in the apartment elevator on April 28th, and another neighbor witnessed the two of them walking David's dog on April 29th.
Wait, so the body was in the apartment for like 2 days?
With them in it, yeah.
But wouldn't it? I'm
shit.
thinking it would smell
Like-
and start leaking.
Probably.
So like imagine being in an apartment with a body rolled
Yeah.
up in a carpet.
I do that all the time to myself.
So the investigators initially treated David Madsen as a suspect in Jeffrey Trail's murder, but David Madsen's family insisted he was held hostage by Andrew Cunanan.
Okay. I would believe that.
So on May 2nd, the two of them, David and Andrew, were seen north of Minneapolis, driving in David Madsen's Jeep and eating lunch together in the bar.
Oh.
Following morning, Madsen's body was found on the east shore of Rush Lake near Rush City, Minnesota, with gunshot wounds to the head and the back from a .40 caliber,
Oh, shit.
which Cunanan took from Jeffrey Trail's home. So the one that was wrapped in
The carpet.
the carpet.
That's problematic.
So now this is like the second.
So this is the second murder. They kind of were like back to back.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to know?
What would you like to know?
What I would like to know as a side note is that, like, okay, so we were just talking about how we didn't know, like, the whole Versace story or as much of it. But the fact that this guy was like a multiple murderer didn't seem to be like a very publicized aspect either. Right? Mm-hmm. It's just weird. Anyway, you can continue. Sorry.
So we fast forward a couple days. Now it's May 4th. Andrew was driving to Chicago and
To see Lee Miglin.
yes, the business
Oh,
tycoon.
Lee.
He was a prominent real estate developer and bound his hands and feet and wrapped his head with duct tape and stabbed Miglin more than 20 times with a screwdriver.
Oh, Andrew, that's a bit excessive.
Slit his throat with a hacksaw.
Oh.
And stole his car.
Jeez.
Miglin's family, they maintain that the killing was random, but a former FBI agent argues that it's unlikely that Cunanan would have just bound and tortured Miglin without some motive.
Okay. That, I mean, one would imagine, right? Because how do you just so happen to find this one individual, you know?
Yep. So the investigators noted that Miglin's 1994 green Lexus sedan was missing from the garage, and they found Madson's red Jeep parked on the street near Miglin's house. So Andrew must have killed David Madsen, drove off in his car
To see Lee.
to go see Lee, left the car, and then took Lee's car.
Well, listen, we get bored of cars, you know?
But Lee's car was equipped with a phone. Apparently, it was like the phone was activated on May 4th in Union County, Pennsylvania. So then the authorities began monitoring the phone activity and found it was also activated on May 8th in Philadelphia and May 9th in New Jersey.
Oh, hey.
Oh, New Jersey pride.
So you could say that Lee and Andrew were like romantically involved or
Well, that's the
having
thing
a
we don't
secret
know.
hookup.
So that was
surely.
implied.
That was implied in the series.
Yeah.
A lot of this was implied. There's not a lot of information as to what Andrew's motive was, and did he really know these people.
Okay.
But personally, I think that you wouldn't just go and just kill some random person. You had to have some sort of motive. There had to be something
Yeah.
there, or some sort of connection or relationship.
In his case, just from like everything that I've seen or read about it, it seems as though there would be, but
So that was murder number 3. So on May 9th in New Jersey, he shot and killed 45-year-old caretaker William Reese. So later that day, I guess William Reese didn't show up for dinner at home. His wife visited the cemetery to check on him and found that his office door at the cemetery was left ajar with the radio playing inside. She called the police, and they actually found that he was shot in the head by the same pistol that Andrew used to murder David Madsen.
okay.
Unlike the other victims who he killed for seemingly personal reasons, authorities actually believe that this murder was simply for him to get this William Reese's 1995 red Chevrolet pickup truck.
Listen, made
Like
Chevy
it was,
tough.
yeah. So I think it
Ford
was
tough.
like
He needed a getaway car.
needed a getaway car.
Because
But like, can't you just take a car and not murder somebody?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, here, I know, and here's the thing, like really, to go from a Lexus to a Chevy, I mean, first of all, how déclassé. Even by killer standards. No, I'm just kidding, people. I'm not this insensitive, I promise you. But I am, but
No,
I'm
but I
not.
mean, this guy seems to be such a social climber, like hanging around
Exactly.
affluent people.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. I mean, how cool is that, right? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. On with the show.
Well, you'd think he'd get like
So,
So, but
He was
can I just
cracking.
ask one
yeah,
thing?
go ahead.
So they discovered this because why? His Lexus was left where the Chevy was stolen from? Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
So pretty much it was like Andrew Cunanan was just dumping his evidence at the side. Like, wouldn't you go to a pound and?
Yeah, I mean, there's a better way to test drive cars.
So now he takes this red Chevrolet down to Florida, which is the home stretch of this story.
Florida.
To Miami Beach. So on May 12th, he started staying in the Normandy Plaza in Miami Beach, Florida. He paid $29 a night in cash.
Big spender.
Those are good deals.
He was actually on June 12th listed on the FBI 10 most wanted fugitives list.
Wow, good for him, reaching for the stars.
The manhunt was unsuccessfully focused on this William Reese's stolen truck that he was using. But Andrew Cunanan hid in plain sight for 2 months. Wow. Which is fucking terrifying. And
That
as you've
is.
seen from the series on American Crime Story, he's physically out in public on the beaches of Miami.
Showing off his little Speedo.
Yeah. And he just it was just a baseball cap and sunglasses
Yeah.
and that was it.
His French cut bikini.
Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes the best way to hide is actually in everyone's faces,
That's right.
without hiding.
That's right.
So I guess you're not hiding.
Only people who have something to hide, so you be out.
So when they figured out he was in Miami was when, again, Andrew, there's so many other ways of doing this.
Oh, Andrew.
He used his own name to pawn a stolen item
That's where Kathy Moriarty comes
Well, that's
in.
where he
on
wanted to get
July
caught.
7th.
Yeah.
He didn't know, I guess, despite knowing the police routinely reviewed the pawn shop records. And he was out of money, so he actually checked out of his hotel without paying the last 3 nights or last night there.
That's very impolite.
So now we get to Gianni Versace.
Gianni Versace.
Gianni Versace. So he allegedly met Versace in San Francisco in 1990 when Versace was in town to be fitting costumes that he designed for the San Francisco opera Capriccio.
Capriccio. Sorry, I'm the translator.
What does Capriccio mean?
Capriccio. That's what it means.
Capriccio.
I don't know what it means.
It means of Capri, which is a beach off of Venice.
That's a cigarette.
I'm lying.
That's a cigarette that Jen
know what
Wilson
it
used to smoke when she
I'm
was
full of shit.
when we first met.
Oh my God.
Taking a
Oh, I'm
page from
sorry.
her.
Uncle Dog, close your
No,
ears.
I'm saying stop. You're bringing me back to an embarrassing time in my life.
What's wrong with Capri cigarettes? They were thin and
I'm looking
luxurious.
up to see what
Capri cigarettes were
I believe
manufactured
it
at.
means a craving.
Oh.
A craving for Capri cigarettes.
I have a Caprice for Versace.
Capriccio or whim.
Versace.
Whim. On a whim. So,
Anyway, we're not into opera here. So.
no, we're clearly not. The handful of times I've been to the opera, I fell asleep.
I would too.
So allegedly, that's where they first met.
Wait, allegedly according to whom?
So
That's what I want to know.
his
Good question.
his family denies that the two ever met.
The Versace family
Wait,
denies it,
The
right?
Versace's deny it or the
The
Cunanans?
Versace's,
Yeah.
the Versace's, because Andrew Cunanan didn't really have much of a relationship with his family. So
And he was known for making shit up. So
He
it's
was.
highly probable that he never met him and that this was just.
So this story that I'm about to share with you is allegedly from Vanity Fair in 1997, recalling the time that they met.
Okay.
This was based off of interviews from multiple witnesses of the interaction. So pretty much what, according to Vanity Fair, Versace walked into this club with an entourage, which included his boyfriend, Antonio D'Amico, which was played by Ricky Martin, and also the choreographer of this opera, Val Canaparoli.
Hey, Val.
And when you're
Young and hung.
hot. Well, just not home.
Sorry, Uncle Doug.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete and Maureen.
Sorry.
And what's the new podcast? We should plug it since we said Pete and Maureen.
Oh, Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boomers.
Sonic Boomers.
On Apple Podcasts.
No, but when you're famous and you're like the big shot in the club,
Yeah.
you know, you're going around, you're schmoozing, you're introducing people.
Yeah,
Grabbing objects.
That's what I do at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Splenda. Sweet and loud.
after about like 15 minutes of like this walking around and doing your like Italian little kiss on both cheeks, there were waves of young men that were just so eager to meet Gianni Versace.
Oh, I bet.
Versace started looking around the room and he noticed Andrew Cunanan standing there.
And it was like, oh no. That's the correct one.
That's the
He
Andrew
was
music.
Andrew was with his friend Eli Gould that he met. He was a fashion designer. So Versace saw Eli and Andrew together. And
he was like, "What up,
he
bitches?"
looked at Andrew and said, "I know you."
Oh.
And he said, "Lago di Como, si? No?" Lake Como is where Versace's home was in Italy. So pretty much referring that maybe he saw him in Lake Como. Who knows? But he would often use that line apparently when he wanted to strike up a conversation with someone.
Oh, that was his pickup.
That was like his pickup line.
Well, I remember when I met him, he said that to me, and I was like,
I know,
"What
I
are
was
you
a witness.
talking about?"
I
I'm
know.
like,
So-
I don't speak
And he was like,
Italian.
Yeah,
"Did
so-
it Quammer?"
Lago di Como, no?
But he gave me a beautiful.
So it was like
shirt.
referring to like, because
Blumpkin.
he had a house on Lake Como, which is, oh my God, I want to go to Lake Como.
He's stunning.
It's so freaking beautiful. But apparently that was kind of like, when like guys are like, do you come here often? Like, I think that was like
That was his version.
Versace's
Oh,
way of kind of,
enticing.
yeah.
That was his
Conversation.
version of, is your
And
refrigerator running?
everyone listening, I never met Mr. Versace. I'm just lying and delusional like Andrew.
But maybe it's the opposite.
So, Andrew was so thrilled.
Oh my God, I bet he was like, oh, Versace.
And he said his response apparently to Versace was, "That's right. Thank you for remembering Signore Versace."
Oh.
And then
I don't think that happened.
He's
I don't
a
think
real-
it
I think
happened.
he's full of shit.
Yeah,
but
I
I,
think
want to hear
he's
the rest of this.
a real Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
But then Andrew apparently introduced his friend Eli to Versace. They made a little polite talk, whether they'd seen the opera, which they had not. And then Andrew and Eli went back to the dance floor. So apparently that was the interaction that they had.
If it were me, you know what I would have said to pick up Versace? I would have been like, Versace, have you ever been to the King Burger?
Oh my God, Mark.
Sorry.
So
I won't edit that. I refuse.
That's how
So-
you won me over.
that was in
See?
1990 apparently
Oh,
that this
allegedly.
interaction happened. Okay.
At the fake opera.
At the fake opera.
Okay.
But
Listen, we don't know. We're
But-
just.
okay, but on July 15, 1997, it was around 8:45 a.m. Gianni Versace was murdered by Andrew Cunanan on the front steps of his mansion in Miami Beach.
And I will have you know, I went by the Versace
I have been by
mansion.
there as well. It's really beautiful.
It is.
And
It's beautiful.
you can actually eat dinner there if you'd like.
You can. I would request to eat dinners on the step. I want my chair on
Where-
half the
Where the
step.
blood was.
Where the blood. And I'm like, hold on.
Well, weren't there pictures like on the media with the steps being like covered in blood?
Yeah.
Was that a
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
It was sensational because where Versace's house was,
It was right next to
it was a hotel.
It was right
and then
next
a restaurant.
to the the movie The Birdcage.
Yes.
It is literally next door to the building that the birdcage was.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
It's on the Miami Strip, like it's on the South Beach Strip. Like the beach is literally right there.
Yeah.
So
nice.
but here's the thing. What I found to be very odd about it was that it would be like, I don't know, being in any other like very business oriented or, whatever area. So it's like restaurant, hotel, Versace's house,
exactly-
hotel.
Yeah.
Like, so it was very out
But
of
you
place
have
and
to also
accessible.
remember, like Miami in the 90s is a lot different than Miami today. Okay, like Miami in the 90s was much more, it wasn't as touristy.
Living La Vida Loca.
It was more of like a lifestyle down there. It was a community. So that's like, yeah, it was hotel, restaurant, but it was like mostly locals. Now it's like the biggest tourist fucking attraction.
I've
but
never been, and I want to go really badly.
It's really nice.
We're gonna
I
go.
love Miami. I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I would, like, my wardrobe would definitely be
It would fit in well.
well received.
He was like, he just returned. He, picked up his local magazines, a coffee, and then in front of his house, Andrew Cunanan shot him once in the back of the head and once in the left cheek.
And a bird was injured as well.
Was it really?
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing. Like they featured it in the show, but I remember before when like I researched some articles, like a bird was killed.
Just like Fabio.
Yeah. It was the same bird.
R.I.P. Fabio's bird. Not as
I
bad.
just Googled Versace bird to see.
Yeah. We're gonna.
I think it was a dead dove.
Yes.
So it was with the same pistol that he used to murder David Madsen and William Reese.
Cunanan. you're being
Apparently, a
bad.
witness tried to, like, get Andrew, but was unable to catch him as he fled into, like, a nearby parking garage. And Versace was pronounced dead at 9:21 a.m. Responding police found the stolen vehicle, William Reese's stolen vehicle, in the nearby parking garage, and it contained Cunanan's clothes and clippings of newspaper reports about the earlier murders.
Oh, he was making a scrapbook.
So Andrew Cunanan actually wound up committing suicide. He broke into this houseboat nearby and he just kind of stayed there and hid and just kind of took coverage
Yeah.
while like the entire city was on a manhunt looking for him. He left no suicide note. There was few personal belongings, and investigators noted that he had a reputation for acquiring money and expensive possessions from wealthy older men. The police considered a few of the findings to be multiple tubes of hydrocortisone cream
Oh, did he?
and a fairly
Hydrocortisone. Did he have fucking eczema?
extensive collection of fiction by C.S. Lewis.
And
Hydrocortisone cream and books?
He packed all of that with him when he was like on the run.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me sad for some reason.
Girls gotta read.
But I know,
I
like,
don't know why it makes me sad.
the manhunt went for, like, I forget how many days.
Just shows you how effective our police force is.
No, really.
But
Kill innocent people, but you can't find a murderer.
he was on this luxury houseboat, and a caretaker reported to hearing gunshots, and which he shot himself with the same pistol that.
So it wasn't Cher performing bang bang.
No, it was not. So, yeah, he was.
Oh, so he took himself out in the
He took
houseboat.
himself out in the houseboat.
Well, imagine being the owner of that house.
Oh, I know. Mark
Imagine
and I
Well,
were
exactly.
talking about that. I was like, can you fucking imagine? Now, diedinhouse.com, which sponsors Bizarre Buffet. If you use, you can get 15% off using the code Bizarre Buffet. But
Diedinhouse.com.
Diedinhouse.com. But can you imagine?
I know. I mean, they also, like, his motivation remains unknown.
Oh.
There was speculation at the time that he allegedly discovered that he was HIV positive,
Okay.
but his autopsy revealed he was negative.
Okay, so
that
he was just old-fashioned crazy.
I mean, he also didn't have the best upbringing. When he was 19, his father deserted his family and moved to the Philippines to evade arrest for embezzlement.
Mm-hmm.
And then that same year, he started frequenting like gay clubs, restaurants. And then his mother was deeply religious, learned about his sexual orientation. And during an argument, he apparently threw his mother against a wall, dislocating her shoulder. And then later examination of his behavior, it indicates that he may have suffered from antisocial personality disorder, characterized by lack of remorse and empathy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sounds like a real...
So, yeah.
Do you think that stems from his upbringing, from his family, or do you think he had
nature versus
I
nurture.
mean,
mental
I
illness, or
think-
both?
I mean, I feel like we've talked about this so many times on other episodes, like especially when we talk about serial killers and like mental health was kind of not frowned down upon, but it was such
Wasn't
It
embraced.
wasn't embraced, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like he probably did have some sort of personality disorder. And a lot of times, like, you hear about these serial killers, and a lot of times they like witness a traumatic experience as a child. Like, look at Richard Ramirez.
Oh, yeah, his uncle shot
Right.
his aunt in the head in front of him.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of like when you see things like that, I'm sure it traumatizes you. And
Yeah.
but I mean, like, we just caught a mouse in my apartment,
Yeah, Jen Wilson just caught her.
and it was dead with the snap trap, and I don't want to go kill people,
No, not at all. That's a reasonable response.
right?
Well, it's funny because, like, I don't like people or humanity, so I have like 1% empathy for people. And then I question, and I'm like, oh, am I going to be like one of these serial killers? I'm scared.
You know what
And
I
then-
tell him? I'm
but
like,
no,
if
no.
you haven't yet, you're fine.
But then, like, one time, it was like, I think last year, I was out like jogging, and I witnessed a squirrel get run over by a car, and I started crying my eyes out.
Yeah, he called me. I was crying
I
on the
called
phone.
Mark, crying my eyes out because of a squirrel that got hit by a car. So
I know, it was very sad.
It was very upsetting, but
I feel like that would be upsetting.
now I know I'm not crazy.
Even for Andrew Cunanan, though?
For what?
Even for Andrew Cunanan, would that be upsetting?
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe.
Well, Andrew Cunanan.
I enjoyed the series.
It wasn't
Yeah,
a really good
it
series.
was good.
I was not a fan of the People versus OJ. Also, like,
First of all,
Go ahead.
no.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I appreciated Sarah Paulson.
well, she's great in everything she does.
Well, I loved Penelope Cruz as Donatella.
Oh,
Yes,
she was
She
fantastic.
was wonderful.
Or as they would say in Italy, fantastico.
Yeah.
And Darren Criss, who plays Andrew Cunanan, first of all, with my theater background, he is a big musical theater person. Like, he's been on Broadway. He's done a lot of, like, he's like one of those, like, out there. Actually, he's straight in real life.
I know.
But he was like, I was so uncomfortable watching him play a sociopath.
Oh.
I never realized he had
that
it
ability.
in him. Yeah. But I mean, this one was really interesting because I didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
Where like now they announced last week that the next season of American Crime Story is going to be the fucking impeachment scandal.
Oh, God. I'm like,
So boring.
but
Coming
when
out
is
in
Jeffrey Dahmer coming?
I don't know. I just know that that's being filmed and coming to Netflix.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like we lived through the impeachment. Like, I don't care about
Oh no.
I don't care about blowjobs in the Oval Office.
It's so fucking stupid. Who gives a fuck?
It's so fucking stupid.
I just want to see the dry cleaning situation.
Yeah, I want to see Edie Falco, but I want to see her go to the dry cleaner as Carmela Soprano. Like, what the fuck do I do with this? You know?
Well, like back to like the
With her duck
Versace.
nail.
But this girl, Beanie Feldstein, is playing Monica Lewinsky. She's Jonah Hill's sister.
I don't like him.
I don't know.
And
who
this
that
is her. This is gonna be Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah. That's believable.
Yeah, she's got the face for it.
Wow.
I don't know. I think I would enjoy watching Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding more than I would the impeachment scandal.
I will not be tuning in, but
I won't either. I mean, I couldn't even get through The People versus OJ because I couldn't take Cuba Gooding Jr. seriously as OJ Simpson.
Well, he's an asshole in real life.
he's not likable
No.
as a
sir.
person.
No,
And
sir.
David Schwimmer as Rob Kardashian.
He's not fucking likable either. I don't give a shit about David Schwimmer. David Shitter.
So
Anyway, Versace.
Yeah, Versace.
Wait, I have to tell you guys something funny. So, I convinced my boss at work to watch the Versace thing that we just talked about.
Really?
Yeah, because she saw the Halston thing.
I loved Halston.
Well, because I told her, I was like, okay, like I'll watch the Halston thing if you watch the Versace thing. So my boss watched the Versace thing because I told her to watch it. She was like, oh yeah, Penelope Cruz was like good, but the hair was clearly a wig. And I was like, that's because she was serving looks, honey.
Yeah.
They
I
were
like the hair.
supposed to do a season about Hurricane Katrina.
Oh.
About like the decisions that the doctors had to make during the hurricane.
Well,
And I feel like I would probably have been more intrigued to watch that than the impeachment.
Yeah.
absolutely.
But the Versace one had me hooked from the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
And if any of you are interested in watching it, it is on Netflix.
It is.
American Crime Story, The Assassination of Gianni Versace.
That is correct. And, my first knowledge of this show was when I worked at an unnamed place because I don't even care to give them a minute anymore. But I had this older woman who was like, have you seen The Assassination?
Wait, was this the Kevin?
No,
Kevin Bacon.
that was the same job. Next, yes. So
So it's the
same
same
time,
job.
same timeline.
So it's the same place that you don't want to talk about.
Yes.
Okay.
And this one was like, you look like the guy who killed Versace. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, it's this Netflix show. And she was talking about the guy who played him, but she was also like, oh, you both wear glasses. And my mom thinks I look like anybody who has a beard. So it was one of those instances, I think.
My goodness.
But the first time I watched it was because of that, because she kept telling me, have you watched it yet?
It
I
was
like, no.
it was a very good series.
It was. I agree.
But I don't remember it getting as much,
Traction.
yeah, like O.J. Simpson, Tanya Harding, Princess Diana.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would love to see an American Crime Story about Princess Diana. That's
See,
what I.
well, that'd
but
be-
that
it's
would-
not
England.
American. It's not American. Oops.
That would be English crime.
Yeah.
That's okay,
But guess
though.
what? It was shoved down our throats in America, so.
It was, exactly.
I'm surprised no one has
Something.
done like a series yet about that.
I'm surprised, too.
They
Maybe,
need to. Maybe we should make it.
maybe we should.
I'll play Princess Di.
Okay, I'm going to play the limo.
I'll be the tunnel.
Oh, that's hot. I want to be the driver and the limo.
I want to be the paparazzi.
Ooh.
I want to play the camera.
This is so sensual.
I want to be the crown. Did she wear a crown? I don't know.
No, I don't think she
the
ever wore a
tiara.
crown.
No, disgraced royalty
I would
don't get
if,
to wear a crown.
if the word princess was in my name, I'd wear a freaking tiara to bed.
You would.
He would. He does now.
He would.
He wears one now to
Just
bed.
because.
Oh, well, this is a fascinating one, Jen. And, you know, we would all like to remind you that even though we are doing these stories during Pride Month, and they do happen to focus on killings, we just want you to keep in mind that this is just shedding a light on stories involving certain individuals. And, you know, we keep things bizarre for a reason. So, you know, we're not perpetuating these ideas in any way or condoning them, but it's simply more so to give an educational perspective with some humor as we do.
Always.
You know, and it's just our style. And if you listen to us, you know that by now, but that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we're okay.
So, with that being said, my name is Donatella Versace.
My name is Elizabeth Hurley's That Dress.
I love that dress.
And I'm the bird that got shot.
Oh, again?
Again.
No, actually, it's not again. I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, is that it, kids?
I think that's it.
Is that it? Did I cut anybody off too soon? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
We love you all.
We love
And
you all.
follow us on Instagram at Bizarre Buffet.
And on Facebook.
Yes, and on Facebook, Bizarre Buffet.
And subscribe, leave comments, and
Tell us what you think. Tell us how cute you think we all are. Tell us how you want to buy
July
us.
4th is my birthday. If you get me Versace, I'm like a size 9.5 shoe.
My
And
birthday is in like 4 or 5 months, so
Mine's further.
you can get me a nice Versace handbag.
Yes. Ooh. You would look
nice.
great in some medallions, Jen.
I want a nice pair of Versace sunglasses.
Okay. You hear that?
You hear that, everybody?
Patreon.com/Bizarre
Bizarre Buffet.
Buffet. Versace sunglasses edition for Jen Wilson because she deserves it.
Thank you.
Anyway,
thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Yes.
listening.
thank
Bye.
you. Goodbye.
Bye.